There's a machine on Tesla's factory floor that got rid of an oven the length of a football field. And that single change is the real reason your electric car costs what it costs, charges as slow as it charges, and drives as far as it does. You've always assumed that story was about chemistry, a better formula, a smarter recipe, something cooked up in a lab. For over a decade, that's exactly what the industry told you. Solid-state batteries, lithium sulfur, some exotic breakthrough that would double your range overnight. It lined up. It made sense. You're wrong. It was never about the recipe. It was about killing an oven nobody thought could be killed. And here's what makes it stranger. Even after Tesla figured out how to kill it, they couldn't finish the job for 5 straight years because of one specific piece of the battery that refused to cooperate. Hit subscribe before that part of the story starts. Here's the picture. Somewhere inside every battery factory on Earth, there's a room dominated by an oven the length of a football field, baking sheets of metal foil painted wet with a toxic solvent-based slurry just to dry them out. Every battery you've ever owned, in your phone, your laptop, your EV, spent time in a version of that oven. Slow, expensive, it eats electricity by the megawatt, and for over a decade it was just accepted as the cost of doing business. That oven is the villain of this story, not a competitor, not a market trend, an actual physical bottleneck on every factory floor, quietly capping how fast the entire EV industry could scale. Tesla's answer has a name, the dry electrode process. Instead of mixing battery powders into a toxic slurry and painting it onto foil, Tesla built a proprietary machine that presses the raw powder directly onto the foil, dry, no solvent, no evaporation, no oven required. The factory footprint shrinks, the energy bill drops. You're no longer limited by how fast you can bake something. You're limited by how fast your machines can press powder, a completely different, much faster game. That single swap, wet to dry, is the real secret sitting underneath Tesla's most famous battery. Not a new chemical formula, a new machine. Now, rewind, because this obsession with chemistry didn't come from nowhere. It's a three-headed monster every EV owner knows: cost, range anxiety, charging time. For over a decade, common wisdom said the only way to slay it was a silver bullet chemistry, some exotic recipe packing more power into a cheaper package. That made sense. Early EVs were expensive, range was a joke, charging took forever, and the battery pack alone is easily a third of an EV's price. So naturally, everyone focused there, pouring research money into formulas instead of factories. Legacy automakers like GM, Ford, and VW poured billions into deals with battery giants like LG, SK Innovation, and CATL, buying the best cells they could and just assembling the car around them, locking down supply contracts and hoping their partners would innovate fast enough. It was the same playbook every automaker had used for a century: source the best parts, build around them. But this created a massive blind spot. While everyone else fought over which chemical recipe to buy, Tesla was standing on its own factory floor staring straight at that football field oven, asking a different question. They understood a truth the rest of the industry missed. It doesn't matter if you have a world-changing battery if you can't build it at massive scale for a ridiculously low cost. The real bottleneck wasn't the lab, it was the factory floor itself. The first public hint of this shift came on September 22, 2020. At Battery Day, Elon Musk walked on stage and made promises so wild they sounded like science fiction. He introduced a new, bigger battery cell, named for its size, 46 millimeters wide and 80 millimeters tall, the 4680. The numbers he threw out were staggering: 5 times more energy, 6 times more power, a 16% jump in range just from the new shape. But the jaw-dropping claim was the cost, a 56% reduction per kilowatt hour. In an industry where 10% is a huge win, 56% could rewrite the economics of the car world. This, he said, was the key to a profitable mass-market $25,000 Tesla. People were skeptical. The promises were too big. Analysts and rivals chalked it up to Musk's reality distortion field, unable to see how a simple size change could cause such a revolutionary drop in cost. The industry kept focusing on the specs and saw an impressive but evolutionary improvement. What they missed was the thing sitting quietly behind the scenes, the dry electrode machine. Born from a small company Tesla had quietly bought in 2019 called Maxwell Technologies. The 4680 wasn't the final product, it was the key, and the dry electrode process was the door it opened. So why couldn't Tesla walk all the way through that door for 5 years? Because, as Musk put it, it's insanely hard. The dry anode was tough enough, but the real fight was the cathode. Its materials are more delicate, and getting that powder to stick to the foil dry at mass production speeds without cracking apart was a monumental engineering problem. For a long stretch, Tesla built hybrid cells, dry anode, still wet cathode, still tied to some version of that oven. Then, in late 2025 and early 2026, the door fully opened. In its Q4 2025 update, Tesla confirmed it was finally mass-producing 4680 cells at its Texas Gigafactory, using the dry process for both anode and cathode. Bonnie Eggleston, a VP at Tesla, confirmed it. Getting dry electrode technology to scale is just the beginning. This wasn't a lab experiment anymore. The machine that builds the machine was finally running at full speed, and the oven, for the first time, was fully out of the picture. Like this video if that surprised you. Now let's get into how this secret completely transforms the car itself. Killing the oven doesn't just make the factory cheaper to run, it unlocks a chain reaction of benefits through the entire car, creating an advantage competitors buying off-the-shelf cells cannot copy. The biggest example is the structural battery pack. In a normal EV, thousands of small cells get grouped into modules, packed into a heavy box, then bolted underneath the car like dead weight. Tesla threw that out. Because the 4680 cells are bigger and tougher, they become part of the car's actual skeleton. The seats bolt straight onto the pack, and the pack itself becomes the floor. No modules, no extra casing, no dead weight box. The result is a radically simpler car. Fewer parts, less weight, a simpler assembly line, all driving the price down. It also makes the car stiffer, meaning sharper handling, a smoother ride, and better crash safety, since that honeycomb-like structure of packed cells absorbs impact energy far more effectively than a bolted-on box ever could. There's a third piece, quieter but just as important. The tabless design of the 4680 creates hundreds of tiny connection points inside the cell instead of one, shortening the path electricity has to travel. Less distance means less resistance, and less resistance means less heat. The real key behind Tesla's insane charging speeds, potentially 0 to 80% in around 10 minutes, and the brand's blistering acceleration. Kill the oven, get a better cell, and every one of those gains traces straight back to the machine that replaced it on the factory floor. You see this on full display in the Cybertruck. Its 123 kilowatt-hour pack is fully structural, and its 800-volt architecture allows charging speeds up to 350 kilowatts. Tesla even began putting these packs in some Model Ys in early 2026 to streamline its supply chain, light years ahead of the pack-in-a-box approach every other automaker still uses. Put all the pieces together, and you see Tesla's true advantage. It's not just a lead, it's a moat, one competitors will find nearly impossible to cross. The EV war won't be won by whoever announces a solid-state battery for 2030. It'll be won by whoever can profitably build millions of EVs now, with the machine already running. Tesla's rivals rely on suppliers like CATL and LG, who serve many customers and still run the old wet process, and can't afford to bet billions on a risky manufacturing shift just for one car company. While Ford and GM fight over battery supply contracts, Tesla controls its own destiny, from refining its own lithium to building the cells straight into the car, start to finish under one roof. That vertical integration is an economic weapon. As of late 2024, Tesla's in-house Cybercell was already on track to become its cheapest battery, undercutting anything it could buy from an outside supplier, and that was before the dry cathode process was even fully ramped up. As it matures, costs will keep falling, pushing toward a battery cheap enough to make price parity with gas cars inevitable. This is the endgame.
By focusing on how batteries are made instead of just what they're made of, Tesla built a machine its rivals can't replicate overnight. You can't call a supplier and order a dry electrode structural pack off the shelf. Every rival has to walk the same years-long, multi-billion-dollar journey Tesla already took to kill that oven. And Tesla is already planning future 4680 versions for the robotaxi and semi. For years, we were mesmerized by the promise of a battery revolution from a chemistry lab, waiting for a magic formula. But the secret was never about magic. It was about mastering the machine that builds the machine, about finally getting rid of an oven the length of a football field the entire industry had simply learned to live with. Which raises the harder question nobody's really answering yet. Every rival now knows the oven has to go. Knowing that and actually killing it took Tesla 5 years and a company they had to buy just to get the right people in the room. So the real question isn't whether Ford, GM, or CATL will eventually figure out the dry cathode process. It's whether eventually arrives before Tesla is already 3 generations past it, building the version competitors haven't even started chasing yet. Subscribe if you want the engineering underneath the headlines, instead of the version everyone else is repeating.